Hello, Assalamualaikum. So welcome back to MGT162 Fundamentals of Management. So now we're in chapter 7, which is control. Okay, so let's see the learning objective for this chapter. So in this chapter, we want to know the definitions for controlling, why controlling is important, the process of control, the types of control, what are the effective control system, and on how to overcome the barriers of the control problems. Okay, so basically these are the topics, okay, that we're gonna look into in this chapter: definition, importance of control, process control, types of control, effective control, and barriers. Okay, so for this video, okay, we're gonna try to cover these three parts first. Okay. So first we need to know the definitions of control. So if you still remember that controlling is one of the management functions where there are four functions of management: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So control is the last functions of management that all the managers have to do inside the organization. So we can say that control is a process, okay, through which managers regulate organizational activities to make them consistent with expectations and help them to achieve predetermined standards of performance. So we already have what we plan, okay, we already organize our resources, our employees, we lead them, we motivate them on how to do all those tasks to make sure that they will achieve the objective. Okay, so as I said before, that when we give tasks to our employees, we have to monitor, we have to control of whatever they did. Okay, this is to make sure that while they are doing it, okay, they are actually doing according to our expectations, okay, so that it will fulfill or achieve the standard that we have set. So that's why we have to do the control process. Okay, we said it is a process because it will be step by step on what we have to do, and then it will keep on doing it, okay, as long as the organization exists. Okay, let's say that you want to produce donut. Here we have donut. Okay, so you already set the standard how the donut gonna be, how it's gonna taste, the appearance of the donut, how big is the donut that you want to be. So when you instruct your employees to bake the donut, okay, so you want to make sure that they will do it according to the whatever that you have in mind, okay, whatever that you want to sell, okay, accordingly. Okay, so that's why we have to control so that we will get the product as what we expect it to be. Okay, so it's critically important, okay, because it helps to ensure that all of our planning, our organizing, leading went successfully as we intended, okay, because this is the last functions of management. So we don't want it what we have planned, how we organize our resources, the effort that we give towards our employee in lead them, in motivating them, so we don't want it to be waste. Okay, so that's why we have to do this controlling process. Okay? With an effective control in organizations, it can ensure to deliver an excellent output to its shareholders, because of course we already have planned the perfect plan, okay, that we agreed on. Okay, we have control, the motivate our employees, we lead them, we choose the best of the employee, we choose the best ingredients, resources for our products. Okay, so we want to make sure that the product that we're gonna sell is in excellent condition according to what we plan, so that our organization will achieve its objective. So that's why we have to make sure this process is gonna be accordingly, okay, to work accordingly. Okay, so okay, let's see why it's very important to do this controlling. Okay, the first one, it can assist the management process. Okay, so when the manager, Okay, when the leader they observe, okay, the employees doing the task, so it's actually will help them to make sure that the management process is accordingly, okay, is run according what they have planned. Okay, so that's why we have to control, so that if there are any deviations, any problem, you can straight away notice it and rectify it. Okay, so that's why it can help the management process. Secondly, we can deal with change or uncertainty. Okay, of course, we have our expectation, our plan, our objective, what we want to achieve, what we want to have as the output, as the product. But sometimes during the process, during the task, during the activity, there might be something, some sort of accident, unprecedented events that we have to encounter. So if we encounter or we realize the problems, the obstacles that we face, okay, earlier at the early stage, so it will be easier for us to rectify it. Okay, so we already know, so that we can have the plan, we can change a little bit. Okay. Next is to deal with complexity. Sometimes, okay, maybe what we plan, we have a great plan, we have the great imagination, okay, objective, the greatest objective, the highest challenge that we give to our employees. But sometimes, in order for us to fulfill it, when we want to assemble our plan, then it will be difficult. Then we realize, okay, we cannot do this. Okay, so when we monitor, then we realize it, and then we can change it accordingly. Okay. Next is to deal with human limitations. So like I said before, sometimes what we plan might not be accordingly. Okay, so people, our human resource, our employees might have some limitations, what they produce, what they can control, or out of control. So it might be happen. So sometimes the outcomes may be it's not according to our expectations. So when we control, of course, we can change it. Okay. Help delegation and decentralization to run smoothly. We have learned about delegation. Okay, delegation when we give out our task, a little bit of our task, the manager's task, and also power to our subordinates. Okay, decentralization also means the same thing, meaning that you give a little bit power, the decision, the opportunity to make decision to the subordinates. Okay, so when we do this controlling, you as the leader, okay, you can help to practice the delegation. Okay, because you can assign the subordinates to take control, okay, to monitor the work of others peoples. Okay. We can also minimize costs, okay, when we do controlling, okay. So we observe, when we monitor everything that happen inside our organization. So when there is problems, okay, so we straight away can notify it, okay, and then we can adjust it accordingly. Okay, we can rectify the problem, we can solve the problem at the earliest stage, so it can help to minimize the cost instead of we have to change the whole product. Okay, if we control, if we monitor, then we can adjust it a little bit at the early stage. Okay. We can also adapt to environmental change. Okay, so in the process of doing the product, okay, when we observe everything, when we control everything, okay, when we will be able to change accordingly to the environment. So if there's something certain problems, unprecedented problem or event that happens, so we know already and we can change it accordingly. So that maybe, let's say that one of the ingredient is not available, it's very difficult to get, so you can change it accordingly. Okay. So let's see the process of control. Okay, so basically this is the process of control. Okay, first there will be set performance standard. Okay, then we measure the actual performance, and then we compare the actual performance with standard. Okay, if no deviations, or if deviations are acceptable, if there's a little bit differences between what we have set the standard, our expectation, but if the difference is acceptable, then we will take no corrective action, we will accept it. Okay. However, if the deviations are unacceptable, so we will take the corrective action. We're gonna redo it, and then after that we're gonna measure once more. We compare it with the standard that we have set. Okay, so let's look into the process. Okay, the first one, okay, first is the setting standards of performance. Whenever possible, okay, the standards should be set in a manner that allows them to be compared with actual performance, meaning that before you start doing the actual product, okay, of course you have your standard of the product that you want to produce. Okay, so you have to produce a prototype, the sample, okay, so that everyone, all the employees, can refer to the sample, can refer to the prototypes, can refer to the standard, so that they know, okay, when they produce, they have to match with the standard. Let's say that you open a bakery, okay, you want to sell this cake, okay, a fruit cake, okay, so first of all, of course, you have to have all the ingredients. You must know the recipe and the process, procedure, steps on doing the cake. Okay, so you will bake the cake. Okay, so with the perfect taste. Okay, perfect looking. Okay, so this is the standard that you want everyone to have. Okay, let's say you want the cake to be this. The height will be about this thick, okay, and then the appearance will be like this, the taste is going to be like this, and so on. Okay, so everyone will know when they do the cake, okay, so it must be look exactly like this one, this standard. Okay, the taste is going to be like that. Okay, the second one, okay, measuring the actual performance. Okay, the organization must decide what to measure, when to measure, how frequently to measure. So you start instructing your employees, your bakers, okay, to start doing the cake. Okay, there will be bakers who bake the cake, there will be some who will decorate the cake, and so on. And then you have to measure, okay, is it the cake that they produce, is it the same like the standard one that you have set earlier. Okay, but you have to decide when you want to measure, when you want to compare, and in terms of what, right? What you want to measure, the taste, the appearance, the process, and how many times do you want to measure. Okay, so that we're going to measure the actual product that your employee is currently doing. Comparing actual performance with standard, of course, okay, when you have the standard and then you do the actual product, okay, so now it's time for you to compare. Okay, you need to compare the actual product that your employees done with the standard that you have set. Okay, so this step involves determining, okay, if actual performance compared to standards falls within acceptable limits. So you will check one by one, okay, the quality, the taste, the appearance of the cakes that your employees bake. Okay, so you compare it with the standard that you want, whether it tastes like the one that you have set, the appearance, okay, the weight of the cake, and so on. Okay, responding to deviations, okay, if the deviations from performance is unacceptable, then corrective action is warranted. When you compare between the actual and the standard, and you feel that the actual cake did not taste as sweet as the standard, okay, you cannot accept it. Mean that the cake must taste, the sweetness must be exactly like the standard, so you cannot accept that it is less sweet, so you have to redo it. Okay, you cannot accept it, so you have to take corrective actions. Okay, if the deviation from performance is unacceptable, then corrective action is warranted. Okay, one of the three actions appropriate. The first one, I believe that if the corrective actions needed, okay, when you compare, so you can accept the deviation, so you have to take the corrective actions, okay. However, if you test and then it's just feels exactly like the standard said, you don't have to take any corrective actions. There will be here is something wrong with here, okay. And then one of the three actions appropriate, okay, maintain the status quo, okay, do nothing, change the deviation, or change the standard. If you can accept the deviation, okay, or the product that your employee produce is exactly the same like the standard, so there's no corrective action that you need to take, you just accept it, it's good, okay. However, if there are certain deviations, okay, a little bit but still okay, maybe the appearance is not exactly the same, but it's okay, it's still acceptable, so you don't have to do anything. However, if it's completely different, this is different, the appearance look different and so on, so must you have to redo it, okay, you have to take corrective action. However, there are three actions that you can take. Okay, first one is maintain the status quo, do nothing. So if it's acceptable, so that you don't have to do anything. Okay, but if it is unacceptable, so you have to take the corrective action, deviation, correct the deviation, correct the mistake that you did. Okay, or you can change the standard. Okay, maybe sometimes that when you think that, or you see that none of the bakers, okay, able to produce the cake exactly like the standard, maybe there's something wrong with the standard, maybe the standard is too high, that is unachievable, so you have to correct the standard instead of the product that they actually do. Okay, so that's it for this video. We're going to continue the rest of the chapter in the second video. Thank you very much.